welcome to Murfreesboro Storytellers, a monthly program presented by the city of Murfreesboro on the city TV channel to keep you up to date on goings on in our community. And today we're visiting with the Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce. We have Paul Latour, who is president of the Chamber. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you, John.
Kelly Beam, who is vice president of membership development. Welcome, Kelly.
Hey, everybody.
And Barbara Walke, who is senior vice president of Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Hello.
Welcome, everybody, and such a wonderful service as the Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce rendered to Murfreesboro and Rutherford County. How have you been handling the pandemic? How is that affecting your operation, Paul?
John, like everybody else, it's been challenging. I'll give a great shout out to our team here. We've adapted well and are continuing to adapt to figure out how we can best serve our members. Of course, a lot of what we do, as you know, is meeting with industrial clients coming in, or it might be a tourist, or just all of our membership networking functions, and that those have all gone away for right now. Those opportunities, or they're very limited, I should say. But we're trying to do things in the new world of Zoom or whatever platform you're comfortable with in terms of reaching out to our members, to doing things and offering things that are virtual in nature. But all in all, we're doing well. This is a great community, as you well know, and they're very supportive of our organization, and we're very appreciative of that.
Well, you've been a great addition to the chamber, Paul. I believe you've been here since 2009.
Correct. Yeah.
11 years.
Yes, sir. 11 years. Been a lot of fun.
Back when you first came, we used to have membership campaigns recruiting members. We don't have that problem anymore, if it was a problem.
Well, it was just a different way of doing things, and so since we've gone to a different tiered system, it's been a lot more attractive to folks, and we're certainly appreciative of the large number of members that we do have.
Great. Kelly Beam, tell us about your work in regard to membership development.
Well, thank you, John. Like Paul said, a lot has changed for us, but the one thing that we're continuing to do is be in relationship with each other, the connecting through calls, lots of calls, lots of Zooms, meetings. We are picking back up with ribbon cuttings, and that's really the biggest part. We are looking at some virtual opportunities for some networking events that we'll be doing, so be watching for that. But really, it's just staying connected to those who continue to invest in our membership and in the chamber. Many of our members are very grateful for the information and the resources that we've been able to provide over the past few months. And so I feel like we've done a really good job of getting really good detailed information. I know Christina and Stephanie and Paul, they've been very conscious about the information that's being put out to our members. So while it's changed, it's still about relationships, and you can still have some great relationships over the phone, picking up, having a phone call where we might not have done that in the past. So, or we relied on email a lot. Good old fashioned cards. We're writing a lot these days, just thanking folks. So that's important to us.
And as I recall, we had 125 ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings last year.
Last year, yes, sir. And when we stopped that back in March, we had 20 ribbon cuttings on the books at the time. And so really now just going back and finding ways to get those back on the books and move forward into the rest of 2020. So we'll see. Of course, we won't be at 124 in 2020, and that's okay. But we will have lots of great celebrations. And we've got some great companies out there that are continuing to grow in our community, and we're very, very excited about that.
Barbara, tell us about your work with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. How has the pandemic affected those events?
Thank you, John. Well, as you know, we are the marketing arm for tourism in Rutherford County. And one of our primary focus is to keep the 5,500 hotel rooms in the county full. And of course, when the pandemic hit in March, we had canceled events with TSSAA. the basketball and spring fling, which of course those two events are about a $6.5 million impact combined. But what we have focused on is not canceling events, but postponing events and rescheduling. For instance, the Governor's Conference on Hospitality and Tourism was supposed to take place in September this year, but we've actually scheduled that for 2021. So we're looking forward to hosting that event.
And spring fling, and I guess the basketball tournaments again will go back to 2021.
And spring fling, yes, and the basketball. But we are looking forward to hosting the fall events, the TSSAA volleyball championships, as well as the soccer championships, the last 2 weeks of October. So for now, those are on. So we're excited about that.
Wonderful, Barbara. You bring a lot of people into the community. How has the hotel occupancy been during these several months?
John, Rutherford County hotels are extremely fortunate right now. Actually, our hotel occupancy for June was 55.9%, and that's well above the state and national average. Starting in April, it was at about 40%. So the hotels are seeing a slow but steady increase.
Picking up a little bit, then that's great.
Yes.
Well, let's go back to industrial development. As I recall, there was just a recent announcement of a company adding 300 jobs soon.
Yeah, that was great, John. You're referring to Molly, which is a tier 1 automotive supplier, and they just announced, I guess a month or two ago, they're going to do an expansion of about 325 new employees add on to their facility here. And we were in competition with some of their sister facilities across the country. So we're very fortunate to be able to do that. Our economic development team, Patrick and Aaron, did a great job, along with our other partners that always help us sell a deal. And I'm also excited, a little bit excited, I should say, that we're starting to see some activity in that area pick up. Where companies, we actually had a company come and visit the other day. That's the first time that's happened since the pandemic started.
Wow.
So I think everybody's trying to figure out what they want to do, and ultimately, I think we'll be a beneficiary of some activity, hopefully in the near term.
Is Molly one of the many suppliers for Nissan?
They are. They supply Nissan primarily here, and also some other facilities that are in the area down in Alabama and other parts.
How about the meetings around the country, Las Vegas and elsewhere, bringing together companies like this and chambers of commerce to do recruiting? Are those going on at all?
They are not. There's no travel or no trade shows. I think what you're referring to, the ICSC show, that's all been canceled. And I think now that we're hoping those opportunities will become available next year. So we're just trying to wait and see. But yeah, those have all stopped.
Okay, very good. Kelly, let's talk about your recruiting and finding members for the Chamber of Commerce. Not difficult at all, is it?
Well, I will say we are very blessed in this community, John. I mean, just this week alone, or last week, I'm sorry, we brought in a few new members. And, while people are a little bit, understandably, they are looking at everything. There's a lot of people out there that are saying we're ready to do business in Rutherford County. And so we're grateful for that. They're looking at the long-term relationship that they have with our community. And so I think businesses, are feeling a little bit more confident. They're getting back out there and starting to look at opportunities. And once we get to open up and have events and programming that we typically will, they know that that's coming. And so I think they're excited about it. Every day I go down a different street and oh my gosh, there's construction everywhere. There's lots of growth in our community. So we're feeling pretty good about that right now.
Approximately how many members of the Chamber do we have?
We are right at 1,300 members.
Wonderful. That's the largest it's ever been, I'm sure.
Well, we're working to keep it that way. There's always room for more. We've got lots of businesses in Rutherford County, so we would love for them to join up and come check out what we have to offer.
Tell us about the work the chamber does with educational institutions, with the high schools, the university, to be able to prepare young people for the jobs that are available. Any of you, Barbara, Paul?
I'll take that, John. Yeah, Beth Duffield and her team, all they do every day is trying to figure out how to get kids prepared for the job market. And we actually started in the 8th grade, where we used to till the pandemic, but we do career pathway fairs in every single middle school as that 8th grader is about to graduate and go to high school, to start introducing careers, especially the high demand, high wage careers that are in our community that are available and plentiful. And that's where we start. And then we work with our K through 12 programs, especially in the high schools, where we encourage dual enrollment. We encourage, there's opportunities to get your degree, your high school degree, especially let's say in manufacturing, and already have a 1-year degree from the TCAT. And so that, Tennessee College of Applied Technology, excuse me for the acronym. So those are things that we're doing. We have 5 industry councils that meet frequently. We're about to start meeting again via Zoom. But the collaboration is there. I think now that the things are getting a little settled out and things are getting somewhat back to after the initial shock of the pandemic, I think companies are really looking to start hiring again. We are going to do a job fair, a virtual job fair. So we're working the details in that, and that should be sometime later in September, and if not October. And we're looking forward to that because there are companies that want to hire right now, and that's the good news. And so once we get past those, we'll certainly get all this information out to the people who might be interested and go from there. But yeah, we're very passionate about education, very passionate about folks finding good jobs, but they've got to have the skill set to do that. And that's where we work with also our post-secondary educational institutions like TCAT, Motlow State, and of course MTSU is a big player in that as well.
And the jobs of today are so different from those of yesterday, if you will, and requires a lot of different preparation, I'm sure.
It does. It's critical thinking. It's working with a team. It's a lot more math. So a lot different than thank goodness that I got my skill set earlier than that before all that evolved.
Kelly, you were talking about some of those ideas the night at the Exchange Club. Any other thoughts you have along that line?
As far as just the things that we have opportunity for growth, just making sure that students do know of great opportunities that are right here in their own community. They don't have to go far. They don't have to go far for education. The jobs that Paul was speaking about, there's some great opportunities where students can actually, within the first few years of getting out of high school, they can be moving into good paying jobs based off of some education, and they can be contributors to our community, whether it be electrician or welder or construction, even some healthcare opportunities. So we want to make sure that our students are recognizing all those different opportunities right here in Rutherford County.
Are there other work of the Chamber, Paul, that we haven't touched on today?
No, I think we covered a lot, and those are our 4 key areas. Of course, we always want to be an advocate for business in the public policy arena. That's one thing we didn't touch on, but we continue to do that, communicate to our members, especially when the General Assembly is in session, about important issues that are before them that could affect business in a positive or negative way. So we want to make sure that we continue to be an advocate for that. But I think we've covered pretty much the big spots.
Kelly, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to mention that if anybody wants to know more about the Chamber, you can always check out our website of rutherfordchamber.org. And that's a great way for you to get connected. You can connect with our visitors area. There's a visit tab, of course, our economic development area, our directory of members, and lots of just great information about our community if folks are looking for more details.
And if someone is looking for a particular type of business, of course, they can go on the Chamber website and find out the members that are in that particular business.
Right. All categories.
Okay. There are other very important members of the Chamber staff that we've not included today. Who have we left out in some of the functions that are going on with the Chamber that we haven't discussed? Anybody?
Well, we talked about Beth Duffield and her team and
Yes.
workforce development. Patrick's our senior VP. Patrick K-Max, our senior VP for economic development, along with Aaron Hutchins, who works with him. Of course, Stephanie Brackman heads up all of she's our chief operating officer, heads up all of our operational stuff on the side of the chamber in particular. So that's pretty much our area, our various areas that we cover, and everybody does a great job. And also, of course, our communications area with led by Christina Troglin. She does a great job. And then, of course, Barbara heads up the CVB, as we know.
Barbara, I guess you're constantly on the lookout for groups and organizations that would like to come in and conduct meetings in our community. How do you go about that?
Well, actually, right now we are working with the Tennessee Department of Tourist Development and group planners to do preset appointments, Zoom calls, and different avenues like that, John. But yes, we are on it and working hard to get these, not only the repeat groups in for next year, but also new business.
Give us an idea of a typical visit when you have a group or an organization that are interested in coming here. Tell us how you go about that and what you are able to present to them.
Absolutely. Well, we are a one-stop shop for group planners. So we can set up their site visits. We can, of course, help them get the proposal as well with the best rates at hotels and conference space. We can set up group tours for their spouses, or we're able to do any of that, as well as just work with our partners. Our tourism partners are extremely important, that we work together. We're a great family.
Oh, very good. Kelly, you think of other ideas along that line?
Just, get out there and meet some more folks. And unfortunately, right now we're not shaking a lot of hands, but there's definitely opportunities to get out and support our businesses across Rutherford County and, of course, here in Murfreesboro as well. So just keep supporting. There's lots of different ways, whether online, call-in orders, or retail are doing call-in orders, pickup. There's lots of ways to keep our economy booming right now. So just get out and support each other.
Paul, let's go back to industrial development. Tell us what they're looking for. You may have covered everything else, but there may be something else that a typical company comes in is looking for. Do we have a lot of automotive-related companies still looking at us?
We do from time to time, but I think the good news is we're getting different looks from different types of companies, and I think that's important.
Mm-hmm.
When you're looking at your community as like a stock portfolio. You want to be diversified as well, and so we're starting to see some more activity come in. Number one thing that companies look for, number one, is workforce. Where are we going to hire our employees, and what kind of skill sets do you have? And that's why the work that Beth does is so important, so we can demonstrate to these companies that yes, there is a viable workforce here. Livability. I think Rutherford County has one of the best livability situations in the entire country, from all the way from schools to healthcare to believe it or not, greenways are very important, and parks, amenities, and so those are things that people look for. Of course, they want to know the tax environment. They want to know what it's like to do business in Tennessee and in Rutherford County from a financial standpoint, not just short term but long term. Those are very important, and then also, speed to market is what we call it, and how quickly they can get their operation up and running. And so we are working daily to make sure that we're prepared for that we have sites, and we encourage our developers and other folks who are managing sites that are viable for some of these companies, that they have gone through the permitting process, have gone through some of the due diligence that they typically ask for, whether it be a phase 1 environmental study or just soil testing. All those things come into a factor, and our utilities here do a great job, and certainly that's a big factor. Obviously, that they've got to have utilities in order to have a functioning facility.
Talk about your relationship with the Tennessee Department of Industrial Development, how that works. Yeah,
so the Tennessee Department of Economic Community Development, or ECD, and they are a vital partner in what we do. Sometimes a client will come through them, and then they'll they'll figure out where the best place to pitch to them. TVA is a big partner of ours as well, along now with Middle Tennessee Electric. They work very closely together to make sure that we have all the tools necessary. They're great partners. We couldn't do without them as well. And, along with other partners with all of our different water departments, sewer departments, CUD, and others, as well as Atmos Energy does a great job. So we're all at the table together when we're pitching these deals. And so when hopefully you don't have to say no on a question, but typically we do our darndest to make sure that the answer is yes, so we can check the box and kind of like the NCAA basketball game, just advance, win in advance. So that's what we try to do.
I'm sure many of the companies that are looking for sites are very concerned about the secrecy or the privacy of the action until it becomes public. Is that always a bit of a issue?
Well, just about almost every deal that we work, we have to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
Okay.
We won't tell the name of the company, so it's very hard not to sometimes. But ultimately, we have to be able to know who they are, what kind of company they are, what they do, and a lot of times they're very recognizable names, and other times they're companies that are up and coming that no one's really heard of. Unless they're in that particular industry. But yes, it's a very secretive world, and just adds to the intrigue of what we do.
And I'm sure they've done a lot of research before they even let you know who they are.
Oh, no doubt. They know more about our community before they get here than you would think. And so, again, everything from housing to schools so that's why it's important for us to have the information up front, accurate, presentable, in a way that is attractive to a company or a decision maker for that company.
Yeah, I remember a story of many years ago when John Rucker was a judge and an attorney here, and it was when General Electric was coming. They came in to visit with him. I think he was chairman of the chamber at the time, and he started telling them about the community. They just handed him a large book with all the information they'd already gathered. So I'm sure that's just typical.
Well, I think back then they had to mail it to them, but now you can get on the internet. and
I guess that's right.
Right.
Kelly, anything we haven't covered that you think of?
John, I think we've covered a lot today. And so I want to say thank you for your continued support, of course, of our chamber. You play a vital role in everything that we do here. So I'm just grateful for that relationship we have with you, from being the voice of the chamber back in the day.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Voice now
a word or two about the diplomats. I'm pleased to be a part of that group.
Yes.
How many diplomats you have?
We have 74 diplomats, and yes, you are a great, wonderful leader in that group. 74 amazing business people across our community that serve. They come out to our ribbon cuttings and events. They also are the eyes and ears. So when Paul, Barbara, myself, and our team can't be everywhere, they're out there recruiting. They're out there talking to other businesses about the chamber, or inviting them to come to events and programming. So we are grateful for that group of people, 74 business people across this community. And it's really a phenomenal group of people to be associated with. I just get the opportunity to lead them. They do an amazing job of going out and doing what they do every day, which is just to promote our community.
A little different assembling now with masks and keeping the 6 foot distance.
It is, we're huggers. So that has been a hard transition, but we hope to be back very soon. But I will tell you that I feel like that they've been very, very intentional about the time that they're putting in to make sure that people know even more about this chamber and our community. So while it's been different, it has also been pretty neat to see the emails come across and seeing the interaction that they're having with business people and business community out there.
You bring in a new class every year, right?
We do. We'll see how it goes for 2021. I'll be excited to see everybody as we move into the end of 2020, as we hope to get together eventually. But we are doing monthly Zoom calls as well. And we're staying connected just like everyone else out there. So our goal is just to make sure that they have the best resources, just as for the rest of our members. We want to make sure they have the best resources and the most information so they can make the wisest choices for their businesses.
Barbara, any more comments about the Convention and Visitors Bureau?
John, just want to say that we are using our social media outlets as a platform to market and promote the hotel staycations at the local hotels, as well as takeout service and curbside service and now inside dining. So we want to thank you also for all that you do, John. Thank you.
Well, it's my pleasure to be a part of the chamber in any way. Paul, winding it up, tell us from the presidential standpoint, anything else we haven't mentioned or you want to reemphasize?
Well, I appreciate this platform. What I wanted to say is thank you to all of our community partners. I want to thank our members. I know that the pandemic has caused great business disruption. So pleased to sit here today and look at our membership. Chamber of Commerce is not a utility where you have to pay or you have to keep the lights on. It's an option, and we understand that. And thanks to all of our members who are sticking with us. We're again trying to continue to show value to what it takes to be a great Chamber of Commerce, and I believe we are, and we will continue to be. And so things will get better. They already are getting better, and we don't backslide on the pandemic stuff. But we're a lot of our success is due to our community, and not the majority of it. And so we're thankful for all the funding we receive from our municipalities as well as the county. Sticking with us as well. I think brighter days are ahead, obviously, and we got a great team to continue that moment.
Well, thank you, folks, for telling the story of the Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce. We're so fortunate to have you with it and it serving this community. Paul Latour, President of the Chamber, Barbara Walke, Senior Vice President of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Kelly Beam, Vice President for Membership Development. Thank you so much.
Thank you.